Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we'll be doing a full body yoga flow to help those of us just do a little bit of everything within our bodies to get our bodies nice and moving and active. To begin, we'll start off in a child's pose, with our knees as wide as the mat and our toes touching together. And then just going to settle in, bringing our chest and our head all the way down to the mat, with the hands stretched out in front of us to get a nice elongated spine. I'm just going to close our eyes and just take a few breaths here. Really just settle in and get comfortable in our practice and on our mat. Then shifting our hands over to the right, then take our right hand to just outside of the mat, with our left hand onto our right. You just get a nice gentle stretch going in our side ribs. Releasing our hand as we move on to the other side. Left hand outside, just outside the mat, with our right hand on top of our left. Then come back to center, and we're just going to push our bodies up, coming into a tabletop position with our hands below our shoulders. We're just going to go through some wrist warm-ups. So we're going to gently go around, making nice circular motions around our wrists, going either clockwise or anti-clockwise, before changing over into the other direction. Then, coming back to center, we'll start off with our right leg and do a variation of cat-cow. So taking your right leg out with your toes pointing to the side and your heel in line with your knee. Take a deep breath in, dipping our belly, lifting our chin up. As we do, we're going to push our hips back towards our back heel. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our chin to our chest, rounding our backs out as we bring our bodies up and forward. Once more, taking a deep inhale as we push back. And exhale to come back forward. Do 2 more rounds at your own pace. And on your last one, you can bring your right leg back as we move on to the other side. Left toe is pointing out, taking a nice deep breath in and exhale out. Last one. and coming back to a nice tabletop. With your right leg now, you're going to straighten it out with your toes still on the ground, just hovering off. And then when we straighten our leg up nice and straight, we're going to lift it up, bringing our heel in line with our spine, and then pointing our toes back. And with our left hand, we're going to lift it up, pointing towards out in front of us. With our fingers and our toes in a line, and take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to bend and bring our elbow towards our knee in a crunching motion before inhaling to come back out with our toes and fingers pointing out. So one last round. We'll bring our hand and knee back down as we move on to the other side. Straighten your left leg out before lifting up, pointing your toes back, and lifting your right hand up and out in front of you. Taking a deep breath in before exhaling as we crunch. One last round. For bringing your hands down and stepping both your feet out into a high plank. Taking a deep breath in as we push the floor away. For exhaling, lifting our hips up and back, or downward facing dog. Starting with your right foot, lift it up, keeping your leg nice and straight for a three-legged dog. For exhaling, placing your foot between your hands as we lift our whole bodies up for a high crescent lunge. Engaging your core, making sure you get a nice strong front leg to help with your balance. And straightening your front leg, you're going to bring your back leg slightly closer with your hands behind your back. You're going to take a deep breath in, pulling your shoulders back, squeezing your shoulder blades as you look up, taking a deep breath into the nose. And then as you exhale, hinging forward, keeping your back still straight as we go down into a pyramid. When you've reached your limit, you just release your hands and fold down into the pose. Placing both hands back onto the mat, kicking out into a high plank. From here, we're going to exhale as we lower our whole bodies down as we chaturanga. Then untucking our toes, we're going to take an inhale as we push our bodies up, either for a cobra, or you can lift your hips up off the ground for an upward facing dog. Or tucking your toes in as we push back into our downward facing dog. Now with your left leg up nice and high, keeping that leg nice and straight. Placing our foot between the hands as we come back into our high crescent lunge. And then straightening our front leg out, shifting our back leg slightly forward, toes pointing toward in front of us. Taking a deep breath in as we really open our chest up as much as we can before exhaling as we hinge forward. When we feel like we can't go any further, you can just release your hands and relax. And hands down to mat. And in your plank, we can just exhale as we chaturanga. Inhale for our back bend of twist. Exhaling back into our downward facing dog. Starting with our right leg again, we're going to kick it up nice and high. But this time, we're going to bend our leg and stack our right hip onto our left, making our knee the highest point for a split dog. Before exhaling, bringing our foot between our hands again. And we're going to lower our back knee this time and come up into a low crescent lunge. Then, placing your left hand onto the mat, we're going to kickstand our left leg out to the side. You can meet me in an assisted side plank with your right leg straight and your right hand up. And from the plank, we're going to bend our right leg and bring our left leg out to the side as we lift our hips up for a wild thing. Lifting our bodies back as we come back into our plank. And then we can go through our vinyasa flow. Remembering to link our movements with our breath. Moving on to the other side, left leg going up. Before bending and stacking our hip on top of each other, holding for breath. Before placing our foot between our hands as we come into our low crescent lunge. Then bring your right hand down to mat, kickstanding our foot to come into an assisted side plank. Before bending our left leg and bringing our right foot out for a wild thing. Once more, hands down to plank. And then we can just go through our flow. Remembering to take some nice deep breaths, fueling your body and giving it the energy it needs. Last round now, right leg coming up nice and high. Once more for a three-legged dog, keeping it straight. And placing your foot between your hands. You once more come up into a high crescent lunge. And then straighten our front leg. We're going to turn towards the side as we go into a wide-legged forward fold. So with our toes pointing to the left side of the mat. Hands behind your back. Once more, keeping a nice straight spine. I'm just going to hinge our body forward. We'll bring our hands down to the mat. Then keeping our left hand down, reaching up as we twist with our right hand, reaching for the skies. Drifting our bodies to the right as we come back into our plank. And for our sum on this side, we flow. Great, we're almost there. Last time with your left leg going up, or three-legged dog. Exhale for a high crescent lunge. Turning towards the right now, feet pointing to the side, hands behind our back. A nice deep breath in, and as we exhale down. And then we can have our right hand stay onto the ground or our mat, and then twisting our bodies to the left as we reach our left hand up and high foot to the sky. Shifting our weight to the left. We come back into our last plank for the practice and just going through our flow, making it nice and strong. Great stuff, guys. Now we can just walk our hands to the back of the mat, bring our hands to our feet. You can meet me into a forward fold, and from here you can just let your body sway from side to side, maybe grabbing opposite elbows for a ragdoll. Just getting a nice release in your lower back, and just enjoying having your heart above your head. Then you can release your hands as you had it in a ragdoll. We're going to go to a halfway lift. So taking a deep breath in, we're going to place our hands onto our shins, lifting our backs up, looking at the top of the mat, keeping our back nice and straight. And then as we exhale, we're going to grab the back of our legs, pulling our whole bodies forward. Just bring our chest as close to our knees as we can. Holding it for a breath before just giving it a nice release. Now from here, you're going to go into the Tadasana. So gently tucking your chin towards your chest, roll your body up, going up one vertebra at a time. And when you reach the top, you can just roll your shoulders out, having your head be the last one to come up, and with your palms facing forward. And from here, we're just going to take a moment, just feel our feet nice and grounded. And just feel the balance in our body, maybe swaying from side to side. Before opening your eyes, and then you're going to find a spot in front of you just to help with your balance. Starting with your right leg, you can put the weight onto your left, getting a slight bend in your left leg. You lift your knee up, bring it in line with your hips. And with your right hand, you're going to grab your knee and just pull it open to the side. Feeling a nice stretch in your hips. Hold for a breath. And you can bring your leg back to center. And then with your left hand, you're going to grab your big toes. And you're going to straighten your leg out in front of you. Maybe you want to move your right arm to the side just to help with your balance. Bending your knee as you place it back down. And we can move on to the other side. Placing your weight onto your right leg with a slight bend in your knee. Lifting your knee up so it's in line with your hips. And then grabbing with your left hand now, opening it out to the side. Remembering to focus on the spot in front of you just so you can keep your balance. And you come back to center. Grab your toes with your right fingers. And just kick your leg out. Really try and get a nice stretch in your legs. And really working those balancing muscles. Release. Maybe just shake out your legs a bit. You can now meet me on your stomachs as you go into a Sphinx pose. So legs and your toes untucked. You're coming onto our forearms, fingers facing forward. We're going to push our chest up, pulling our shoulders back. As we look up, feel a nice stretch in our back and in our stomachs. Lowering our bodies down, bringing our chin to the ground. We're going to place our hand on the outside of the mat, and then we're going to go through some spinal twists. So you're going to take a deep breath in, and as you do, you're going to push your body up and twisting to the right as we look over our right shoulder. And as we exhale, we're going to twist back to center and lower back down. Inhale to twist, lift up and twist, this time looking over to the left. And then as we exhale, coming back down. I'm going to go through 3 more rounds on each side, going at your own pace, keeping everything nice and controlled. Going through your last rounds on each side. And when you've completed your last twist, you can meet me lying on your back, the legs straight out in front of you, looking up to the sky. You're then going to bring your knees towards your chest, hugging them into your chest. It's just maybe like sway from side to side, getting a nice little spinal massage going. And then you can open your legs out with your bottoms of your feet touching together. And using your hands, you're going to grab onto either your ankles or the sides of your feet. We're just going to kick our legs out away from us as we come into a happy baby. Just maybe swaying from side to side, trying to make sure the base of your spine isn't lifting too high off the ground. And maybe you can just try and straighten one leg at a time. Really noticing any differences in your body and seeing what feels good and what works for you. You can release your feet, bring your legs together, you're going to straighten them out, and you lift your feet out to the sky with the bottom of your feet pointing up as you come into a waterfall pose. And you can just either keep in stillness, or you can once more just sway your legs and your body from side to side, doing whatever feels good and natural. And then bend your knees back into your chest, and we're going to prepare to go into a plow pose. You might want to, if you're new to this and not very comfortable with going to plow, you might want to start with some rocking motions. So placing your hands beneath your knees, just going to sway your body back and forth, rolling on your spine. As we just start building momentum, making sure to keep our chin tucked into our chest. And then when you're ready, on your last push back, kick your legs back out behind you. And with your hand, you can maybe use it as a support for your lower back and just try and keep your legs nice and straight. Remember to keep your chin nice and tucked, looking out in front of you and not turning your head to the side. Gently bend your knees as we lower our back slowly down onto the mat. As we just lay our legs out in front of us, and with our hands to the side, and close our eyes as we lay in our Shavasana. Just letting every muscle in your body relax, releasing any tension that you might be holding on to. We just clear our minds as we drift away. Bringing your focus back to your breath, feeling the air flow in through the nose, lungs expand, and a gentle release out through your mouth. Wiggling your fingers and your toes, getting our body slowly moving once more. Maybe even lifting your hands above your head, grasping your hands to get a nice little stretch like we're waking up in the morning. And you can either stay lying on your back, or you can either turn to your left or right side. You just feel our body's coming back alive, thinking about what we've gone through, how we're feeling now, to how we felt in the beginning. You can either stay lying on the mat, or you can come and meet me in seated position, with your legs crossed or on your shins, eyes still closed. Your hands on your knees, taking a few deep breaths together. Giving yourself a nice little mental tap on the back for making time for yourself, and after yourself, and taking a deep breath in, and place our palms of our hands together at heart center as we exhale, bowing as we close our practice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you found some benefit and something you guys can use in your daily lives and to help you get better every single day. Until next time, I hope to see you guys again on the yoga mat.